Hey everyone, today I'm going to be explaining a game called Kings of Israel. It is a biblical game based on the Old Testament. It takes place in Israel, and you are playing prophets trying to remove sin from the land and trying to build altars to God. It is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. So take a look at what I have here set up. So over on the right hand side of the board here, this is the timer of the game. This thing here is going to move down each turn, and once it gets to the end, the game will come to an end. Here's the board set up. We got our player pawns in the two cities. This is set up for a 2-player game. The black cubes on the board represent sin. So we have some in the city here, for example, has 1 cube, so it is a fairly sinful city, but this one has 2 cubes. It is more sinful, and then it actually can get bad where they actually make a golden calf. In Samaria, we start with an altar. And in order to win the game, depending on the number of players, you have to build so many altars in the game. I believe for a 2-player game, you need to build 7 altars within the game to win. So the game is set up kind of randomly. I'll show you over here. We have a location card. So what I did is I just drew cards according to a formula in the rules to set up the game for the sin and whatnot. Later in the game, we're going to get some sin and punishment cards. We're going to get some blessing cards, and these are resources. There's cattle, stone, gold, and wood in these things here. Over on the left-hand side, I got the game set for 2 players, so we have this is a cheat sheet that they can use. In this game, you don't get names, you just get a special ability. This guy's a sailor, so he can travel around by sea very quickly. He starts off with 2 resource cards, so he's got a cattle and a wood, and he's also going to be the starting player. Over here, this person is giving, and so they get to be able to give resources to another player. Obviously, there's one more player, but he can do it for free. And he starts off with grain and stone. Again, these just came out randomly. And over here we have, these are what are called destruction cubes. There are going to be some cities that are going to actually be destroyed in time. We got some more calves. We got the altars, which are good, and then the sin cubes. Now, if ever during the game, if we have to add a sin cube to the board or a golden calf, and we can't, we've run out of supplies, we lose the game. Okay? So on your turn, you have different things you can do. You can move. You get 4 actions. So you can move. So you can move from one spot to another. So this is a road, so you can move like that, or you can move again, whatever you like. You can preach to the Israelites. In other words, you can remove sin. So this character here is here, so he could take an action and remove one of these sin cubes, or he could use 2 actions and remove 2. Another thing you can do is if this character were here, he could destroy this idol. It takes 2 actions to do that, so it would take 1, 2, and he could remove that. There. The other thing you can do is if you're in the same spot, you could trade resources. Another thing you can do is you can build an altar. So wherever you are, you would have to use these 3 cards here, stone, wood, and gold, and you can build an altar in the city you're in. Or if there's an altar already there, you can make a sacrifice and using grain and cattle. And what that does, for example, let's just change this a little bit just so we can explain this. Let's say we were here and we make a sacrifice, I give up a grain and a cattle, then all the sin cubes from here would be removed because that's where the altar is. And then I could remove 1 sin cube from each city that is adjacent, connected by road. So this city here would lose 1, and this one would lose 1, and this one would lose 1. So that's a really good thing. And so of course, and again, you want to build these altars, that's how you win the game. Now the game tends to fight back, and what you have to do is you have to draw some location cards. So for example, in Jericho, we would draw that one, so you'd add a sin cube to that one. This one here is a nation card. So we have Moab. So we'd go down to Moab. Now this one's not too bad. Now whatever city it's connected to, for example, this one is Mount Nebo, you'd add a sin cube to that because it's a nation. So if you look over at Judah, if we had drawn Judah card, we'd have to add 2 cubes because there's 2 roads connected to Judah, like that. And that's how the game kind of fights back that way. Here we have Hamath. Now, I kind of messed up the board as I was trying to explain this. Where is Hamath? It's here. So if there was a cube already there, you would add another cube. All right? If there's already 2 cubes there, and you would have to add a 3rd cube, like this, you'd also have to add an idol, a golden calf. Okay? If later in the game you have to add another cube to this location, because there's a calf there, you'd add the sin cube, and then it would spread to all the neighboring towns. So this one is connected, this one is connected, this one is connected, and then this one is connected. So you can see how it can spread and get out of control really fast. Okay? Now over here with the timer, what these are, in the beige are good kings, and here in the red are bad kings. And whenever this is on a good king, you get to draw a blessing card. And these cards are always good, and they will help you win the game. When you get down here to the red guys here, you have to draw a sin and punishment card because the nation is not following God and they're not doing what they're supposed to. And so there's consequences. And these cards are all bad, and they really hinder you as far as trying to win the game. And that's about it. You just take turns back and forth, trying to remove sin. You'll find the game will fight back. It's fairly simple to play. Now, there's a game on the market called Pandemic. I haven't done an explanation of that game, but it's very popular. If you played Pandemic, you'll like this game. The designer, Lance Hill, of this game is a big fan of Pandemic. And in Pandemic, the cubes represented diseases, and you're going out trying to cure the diseases. So it's pretty much the same game, it's just in this game is a totally different theme. It's simple to learn. It's not a lot of strategy. If you're deep into strategy games, you may not like this game. Again, it's cooperative, so if you don't like cooperative games, you won't like that. I think the age for this game, I'd say maybe 11, 12 years old and up. So there's some people that don't like this kind of game simply for the fact that you can lose. And people don't like that because God can't lose. And of course, in the Old Testament, God was always in control, and he was doing things and whatnot. And before I bought this game, I kind of struggled with that a little bit too. But honestly, after I bought it, first of all, it's just a game. It's fun, but it also can start some good conversations as well with your family or whatever, as you discuss why the sin is spreading or how quickly it can spread once you let it in. And the work that is being done even today as far as missionaries going out and trying to spread the gospel, that kind of thing. I'll try to provide a link for this game for review by Richard Ham, who does the Rado Runs Through. Now, he is a self-professed atheist, but he played this game and he really enjoyed it. And I think that's really good to have these kind of games on the market because it's non-threatening, so anybody could play this game and have fun. But again, it does create that area where you could perhaps have a discussion as to what sin is and that kind of thing is. So I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And if you're interested in learning how to play this game, or if you'd like to play it, let me know and I'll bring it to the table. Thanks a lot. Bye.